Welcome back to another episode of Multidimensional Geek. I'm Dan, and I've got my buddy Ricky here.
Hello.
And today we can continue our Skywalker Saga review. We've finished the prequels, we've finished the original saga, and today we start the sequel saga with Episode 7, The Force Awakens.
Yeah, it's been 30 years since the Return of the Jedi, and there's peace in the galaxy, so to speak, but there's a new force arising, or threat, in the First Order.
Yeah, so we start the movie off, you see a bunch of stormtroopers being sent down to a planet, the planet of Jakku, where Poe Dameron, our new hero, is there with his droid BB-8, securing some a map.
They're securing the map that has the location of Luke Skywalker, who has been gone for a long, long time.
Yep. You can read more about that in the books, actually. There's a lot more explanation about what happens there, but we're not getting into the books.
No.
Just the movies here. Basically, though, the stormtroopers show up, and they disable Poe Dameron's ship, take him hostage.
And all hell breaks loose.
Yep.
And one of our stormtroopers sees his buddy die right in front of him, and he kind of is like, gets this sense of like, what the hell am I doing?
Kind of like a PTSD moment.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good way of looking at it. Is he has like PTSD, like, what am I doing here? Yeah. And then there's a scene where the leader, Captain Phasma, tells them to kill all the villagers, and he just stands there and he doesn't do nothing.
Yeah, but so Poe, before he got captured, sent BB-8. He just says, "Run away, run as far as you can, and I'll come back for you." After Poe sends BB-8 off with the navigational charts, he gets captured by Kylo Ren, and
he's the leader of the Knights of Ren. They are kind of a new version of the dark side, and he is trying to be like his grandfather before him.
Yeah, he kind of worships his grandfather, Darth Vader.
Yeah, his grandfather, Darth Vader. He has a lot of mannerisms, and he wears a mask like he does with a voice enhancer.
We are then introduced to Rey.
Yeah, she's a young scavenger on the planet Jakku, and at the time, we don't know who her family is, or mom or dad or anything, and she just scrounges around for parts. And one thing I liked about it is it's a callback to the old ones, because it's a bunch of old Imperial ships and stuff.
Star Destroyers.
That
there was a big battle there. So we kind of basic introduction with her, and then we head back over to Poe, who to the stormtrooper friend who decides to help Poe escape.
Yeah, it's like he had enough, and he somehow stumbles upon Poe, and he acts like a stormtrooper, and he says, "Hey, I'm here to capture him. Kylo Ren wants him now." And they come up with this plan, and they somehow escape.
Yep, they steal a TIE fighter and escape back to the planet of Jakku. And basically the stormtrooper, who we end up naming Finn.
Yeah, because he was just given a number when he was born.
It started with FN, so Poe decided to call him Finn while they were in the TIE fighter escaping. But so Poe kind of gets lost. We're not sure what's happening with him, and then Finn finds his way to the same little town where
Rey is, and they both stumble upon BB-8. She does it first. She finds him first.
She finds BB-8.
And then the BB-8 is kind of like, "Hey, where the hell did you get that jacket from?"
Yep. So he's like, "I got it from Poe Dameron. We lost him. I don't know where he is. I think he's dead." But so they end up getting chased down by the First Order, and to escape, they board the Millennium Falcon.
Yay! Yeah, the Millennium Falcon Don't know quite why it's there. Some junker guy owns the ship, but
They kind of explain how he got it from somebody who got it from somebody.
yeah.
And that comes up actually here in a minute, because while they're trying to head towards the Resistance base, they get captured. The Millennium Falcon gets captured into some bigger ship, which is controlled by Han Solo.
And Chewbacca is still there. And they are getting chased down by a bunch of scum and bounty hunters like Han was.
Yep, basically some people show up to take out Han because he wronged them with his smuggling, and so they end up having to just board the Millennium Falcon and get out of there. Oh, they let loose the Rathtars.
Yeah, which ended
That
up
was
killing
fun.
a bunch of people, and they made their escape. And
At that point, they head to meet up with one of Han's friends, Maz Kanata.
yeah, because with the material that's in the BB-8, he thought she could find him a safe passage
Yep,
to get
them to the Resistance. But of course, nothing stays calm for long in Star Wars. But there's some bad people at Maz's establishment there that call in the First Order and let them know that they're there.
But while this is going on, Rey kind of has a weird moment where she gets pulled toward a lightsaber.
Yep, she senses the lightsaber and finds it down in the basement of Maz's establishment, and has some visions when she touches it.
Yeah, she has visions of Luke and the Knights of Ren and a few other little
In
things.
an ocean.
Yeah, an ocean. Yeah.
But so she doesn't want to have anything to do with it, but Maz says it's calling to you. You know, it was Luke's lightsaber and his father's lightsaber before that, and now it's calling to you. Something's going on. This is important. But she kind of rejects it and runs off into the forest.
Yeah, which for her is kind of bad luck because the First Order shows up and there's this huge fight with all of them, and Kylo Ren tracks her down, and he senses that she knows more than she's letting on, so he kind of
He captures her and takes her back to the ship.
Yeah, and
At this point, kind of after the battle, one of the Resistance transports shows up with Leia.
yeah, the Resistance came and kind of helped them out, and they started having a little battle with the First Order, a small one. And Leia shows up, and you see her and Han Solo
Reunite.
exchange some words.
Yep, they hadn't seen each other in a while because he went back to smuggling, and she just kind of worked with the Resistance. She's a general in the Resistance.
Yeah, all because of their son kind of, going toward the dark side. They both, kind of have an argument over how it happened and all that.
Yeah, but so anyway, they go back to the Resistance base, and then we find out that Poe Dameron is still alive, and he was actually leading the charge on the defense there at Maz's place. So while they're back at the Resistance base, the First Order sets off their new weapon, the Starkiller Base, which is basically a Death Star on steroids.
Yeah, it's 3 or 4 times bigger than the original Death Star.
Way bigger. Yeah, it's basically a planet with a Death Star built into it, and it destroys several planets in the Hosnian system, which basically takes out the New Republic.
Yeah, and then they have a little meeting, and they're like, there always has to be some way you could destroy these. If it works, there's got to be a way.
Yeah, and Finn's like, well, I worked on that base before. We got to destroy this specific component, the oscillator.
Yeah.
And then the whole thing will overload. And so they make a plan, and Han volunteers to take them to the Starkiller Base to try to take it down.
And so Han Solo and Finn hop on board with Chewie, and they get there, and Captain Phasma shows up and basically, calls out Finn, but somehow he finds a way to coax her into.
Yeah, they capture her and coax her to take down the shields so that the resistance can come in. But while that's going on, Rey basically escapes from Kylo Ren, figures out that she has force powers.
She escapes and stuff like that, and Finn's like, I gotta find her, and lo and behold, she was right behind them.
Yeah, they find her and reunite and all of that. They set some charges inside the oscillator so that they can help the actual ships that are coming in to attack it.
Then we get the probably one of the saddest moments in Star Wars, a reuniting of father and son.
Yeah.
Then we found out his name is Ben Solo, so Ben and Han Solo kind of reunite, and it was a very tragic ending.
Yeah. In the end, of course, Ben kills his own father, Han Solo, and pulls at all the heartstrings.
Yeah, and it sucks because, I mean, I think they could have maybe kept him in it, but obviously Harrison Ford was ready not to play Han Solo anymore, so.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, while this is going on, Rey and Finn see that, and they're devastated. They scream out, and then
Chewbacca shoots at Ben.
Yeah, and he goes crazy.
In the gut.
Starts setting off all the charges and starts blowing everything up.
Yeah, so they get out of the oscillator, and some of the resistance fighters actually fly inside of it because of the hole they blasted in the side of it and tear it up.
Yeah.
But then we follow Rey and Finn outside of the oscillator where they run into Kylo Ren again.
Yeah, and they have a brief lightsaber battle, but the coolest thing in that one is, Finn and Kylo Ren were having the battle, and he got the advantage, and the lightsaber kind of just fell to the ground, and then...
Yeah, while Ben is trying to reach for it to pull it towards him with the Force, it goes right past him into Rey's hands.
Yeah, and that was a kind of a feel-good moment, after the whole Han Solo thing, but they end up having a little bit of a lightsaber battle, and he's like, you need me to train you, I can train you in the ways of the Force, and...
Yeah, but she's not going to have any of that, and eventually, of course, she knocks him down, and... the land splits apart as he's trying to go back after her, so she
takes off
and goes back to find Finn, who's unconscious, and of course Chewie shows up with the Falcon.
Yeah, and they both head back to the Resistance base, and
then they get back to the Resistance base and find out, the planet explodes actually right before that. And basically, when on their way back, R2-D2 kind of wakes up. He's been slumbering for a while.
Yeah, we don't know if it's because he was missing Luke or if, but he had the piece all along of where Luke really was.
Yeah, he had the rest of the map, so between his piece and BB-8's piece, they have the map to go find Luke.
And our movie ends with Rey finding Luke on an island.
Yep, she reaches her hand out with his lightsaber, and they just kind of have a stare off there, and it fades to black.
Yep.
So this one's only been out a couple of years, so I'm sure your opinion didn't change much. I mean, that's kind of the point of this. I mean, I love this movie. I think some of the really best parts of the movie are when they throw in some of the musical parts, like Leia's theme and Luke's theme show up at just the right
good
part
timing.
to pull at your heart.
And I like myself. I like the callbacks to the old stuff. I know that was kind of a controversy.
Yeah, there was a lot of arguments about how this is just the original movie, but I mean, there's pieces of Empire, there's pieces of A New Hope, there's pieces of Jedi in there. It was a long time between Star Wars movies. They were gonna throw that stuff in there.
Yeah, so. and that's the thing is, like, as much as we love comic book movies, most of them are pretty much the same you know, same. And then you got like your gangster movies that are the same. The cop movies are all pretty much the same.
Apocalypse movies are always the same.
Yeah, so for people to be all up in arms saying this is the same as the first Star Wars, I mean, what do you expect?
Right.
You know?
They needed to put some homage in there to the original source material.
And I agree with Dan. I mean, my opinion about it hasn't really changed much. Because like Dan said, we did see this a couple years ago.
Yeah, it's been 4 years since it came out.
Yeah. So, I mean, on the scale, I give it a 3. If you're scaling it, I would have gave it a 3 when it came out.
I think I would have given it a 3.5. Because it pulled at all the right hearts and strings. I loved that movie.
Yeah, it was good. And like Dan says, I love the callbacks to the music and stuff.
Yeah. So, well, we've just got a couple more days till episode 9 comes out.
Yep.
And, of course, we're going to go see that, and we'll make a spoiler-filled video of that. But, other than that, did you have anything else you wanted to mention?
No, I like the new characters. I know that's also a controversy nowadays, but...
Well, everything's a controversy nowadays.
Yeah. I mean, I like the new characters. I like how they blended the new characters with the old characters.
Right.
You know, and I told Dan when we were rewatching it, I really wish that they would have kept Han Solo. I think that would have helped in some future movies we're going to review.
Yeah.
But I think that would have helped that movie out. But, you know, all in all, I thought it was pretty good.
If you like the video, of course, hit that like button down below. Consider subscribing if you're not already. Leave a comment. Share the video even. There's links down in the description if you want to help support the channel. And you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. And until tomorrow, make your life more fun by keeping it more multidimensional. Catch you later.